Hello, Shepherd of the Hills. Rick Yules here, your lead pastor. And joining me today is Pastor Jennifer, who is our associate pastor and en route to California. I just wanted to have a couple of opportunities, take the opportunity here to ask a couple of questions, and so that you can get to know her a little bit. And then I know we've got lots of things planned for you to get to know her a lot more once she arrives. So, Pastor Jennifer, welcome. Nice to have you here in this format, and looking forward to having you here in person. Um, Tell us a little bit about Jennifer. Who are you, and how did you wind up coming to the place you're at now?
I am a United Methodist through and through. I am a mother of three wonderful children and a wife to my husband, John. And John is a super creative guy, wonderful father, dabbles in lots of things. And I hope you'll take the time to get to know him as well. My three kids, Micah is 8, go almost 9. And then Malia is 6 and McKenna is 2. And they're wonderful, and they will quickly work to get to know you. I know. So that'll be fun. I grew up in Ohio, and my parents, actually, when I was born, were kind of missionaries, and we lived in Australia and Venezuela. But when I was 3, they left that and settled in Toledo, where my grandparents are. And I have one older sister, Catherine, and we lived here in Ohio, and I experienced the gradual awakening of faith. I don't have a big conversion story because I have always known God. But it gets deeper and deeper over time. There are key moments in my journey, and with camps and chrysalis and mission trips and all sorts of things. Annual conference actually is a touchstone in my
Wow.
spiritual journey as well, my faith journey. And yeah, started going to annual conference when I was in 6th grade, and absolutely loved it. My dad is a very active layperson, as is my mom, but my dad worked for the conference office.
Okay.
So grew up in the church, loved God. When I was 15, 16, I started really wrestling with what I was going to do the rest of my life, and started experiencing this call to ministry. And one day I heard God saying, "This is you. This is you. Do you remember this and this and this? This is you." And when I said yes that night, it felt like a weight had been lifted and a battle had been won. It was an incredible moment for me, and one that does not allow me to doubt my call even when I want to. so, um, uh, so went to Ohio Wesleyan University, and met my husband, and went to seminary out in Washington at Wesley Seminary, and came back to Ohio a dozen years ago to start full-time pastoral ministry. And I have loved it. I am always on the lookout for ways to reach out into our community and reach people who don't already have a church family, a Christian community, a transformative relationship with God. And so that's really where my heart has always been. So about 3 years ago, I started telling the cabinet that I needed to focus, because as much as I love all the aspects of ministry, being of pastoral ministry, really getting to focus on helping us go beyond the church walls takes more energy. The pastor's list of to-dos is way too long for one person. So I'm excited to be part of a team. I've been part of a team for the last 3 years. And when I found out that my position here was ending, my husband and I decided that we wanted to move closer to his family. There's no immediate family left in Ohio, and really, and so we want to move closer to where he's from, up in Julian.
I know from our previous conversations, you're pretty passionate about something that falls under the umbrella of fresh expressions in the church. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Fresh Expressions is a new form of church for our modern era, that is primarily focused on ministry with those who are not already part of any church community. Sometimes research might call these nuns or duns, like no church affiliation, done with church affiliation. And sometimes people might consider themselves spiritual but not religious. And these folks need community, and they need healthy community. And I believe that our primary call as Christians is to go and reach these folks with the good news in a way that they can hear it. So Fresh Expressions is a movement that started in England, and it's really about a both and. It's about saying we can have the established church we've always known, and alongside it, we can create new expressions of church that really resonate with new people, and target, their particular subculture, their particular language. And it can be with neighborhoods, it can be with workplaces, it can be with hobbies like yoga or board games or making stuff. It can be among walkers, it can be among video gamers, it can be online, in person, around the dinner table. There are so many cool ways that people are doing church. And these aren't just outreach, it's not just mission, it really is its own church. It might not look like what we've traditionally understood church to look like, but it has all the basic hallmarks. It connects people up to God, learning about God. It connects people into the community of faith, out in mission to the community, and unites them with the church universal, often through an established congregation like ours.
What first drew you to the First Expressions model?
I very clearly remember driving down the road and having this really cool idea of a church at this particular park that in the community I was serving in Brookville, Ohio. And anyway, I won't go into all the details of what that vision looked like, but I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if church wasn't just on Sunday morning in a church building, but happened throughout the week, throughout the community in different ways? So I started talking about this idea with my church, and I started talking about it with the larger church. And the director of New Church Starts and Development here suggested, hey, that sounds a lot like Fresh Expressions. And I thought, I don't know anything about Fresh Expressions. He's like, you should look into it. And when I did, my mind was blown away, because it was exactly what I believe God had inspired on that drive. And the more I looked into it, the more it just gave tools and framework to be able to understand and explore this concept. When I moved from that church, I thought, well, that's the end of that vision. And a year later, my husband, who also felt called to Fresh Expressions of Church, dragged me to a workshop on it. And in that workshop, God was like, you doofus, this was not their vision. This was your vision. This was my calling for you. And even when you tried to leave that behind a year ago, you've been working towards it all this time. And in fact, you were working towards it long before you even came up with that particular vision.
I was going to say, when you said God said you doofus, I thought, oh, he talks to you like he talks to me too. It's
right.
very, very plainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer, this is exciting. We're, as you know, one church with two campuses, and we're trying to figure out a way to do things differently and move out into the community, building relationships and bridges, and starting some new things. On top of all the things we've already got going, you've heard some about our community table and our Yugo Ministries, and anyway, we're excited to have you on board and looking forward to having you and your family here. We've got all sorts of fun ways to welcome you that we're looking forward to as well. And thanks for this time, and God's blessings on you on your journey here.
It is an honor to be your new associate pastor. I'm really excited to get to know everybody there, to get to meet you. And thank you so much for the hospitality and the welcome you've already shown, the help in getting our feet under us, because that is a big task. And so, in addition to Fresh Expressions, I wanted to share. I have a strong belief in the priesthood of all believers. And so I have a particular role I'm coming in with, but I'm excited to find out how God is calling you, and each one of you to live into who God has made you to be, and the particular ways that you can share God's love and the good news with your neighbors, with your hobbies, with your community, and with one another. So that's really important for me to communicate with you, because I think that it is so exciting to hear the good things you're already doing and have the opportunity to come alongside you and cheer you on and give you what pieces of insight I can give you, and most of all to discover what God is doing in and around Shepherd of the Hills. So thank you.
You're welcome. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.